A number A name. An account that cannot be undone, ranked number 97. 11 confirmed victims, more suspected. This story begins in a village so small you could walk across it in 10 minutes. Nanmen, Yunnan Province, a quiet farming community. Dirt roads, vegetable gardens. Neighbors who knew each other by name. Then the boys started disappearing. One by one along the same stretch of road, always near the same house. Parents were told not to panic. Maybe they ran away, maybe they were taken for work. But the road kept swallowing sons, and hanging outside one small shack, green garbage bags swayed in the wind. Inside them, bones. This is the story of Zhang Yongming. And the question that haunts this case is not just how he killed, but how an entire village kept walking past the warning signs. China has a long history of cannibalism dating back to the Tang dynasty of the 7th and 8th centuries, when it was common practice for soldiers to eat fallen enemies. More recently, when the ill-planned Great Leap Forward left tens of millions of Chinese on the brink of starvation in the 1950s, millions of ordinary citizens resorted to eating human flesh in order to survive. China has also had its fair share of cannibalistic killers, most notably Zhang Yongming, the Cannibal Monster. Over a period of 4 years, from 2008 to 2012, Yongming strangled and dismembered at least 12 youths in the tiny village of Nanmen, later selling their dried flesh as ostrich meat in the local market. Little is known about Zhang's early life. He first appears on the radar in 1979 when he was arrested for killing a man and mutilating his corpse. A conviction in that case saw him sentenced to death, but the punishment was subsequently reduced to life imprisonment. Paroled in September 1997, after serving just 16 years, Yongming was relocated to Nanmen in the Yunnan Province. There he was given a tract of land and a meager government stipend and promptly forgotten about. The disappearances didn't happen all at once. They happened quietly. A boy leaves home to visit a friend. Another walks down the road at dusk. A third is seen near the market. Then nothing. No ransom calls, no witnesses, no bodies. Just absence. And in a village that small, absence echoes. In 2008, one of those boys would not come back. His name would become the first confirmed victim tied to Zhang Yongming. He was strangled, dismembered. And no one knew that the killer lived just meters from the path they all used every day. At first, the distraught parents thought that their sons had been kidnapped to work as slave labor in the brick quarries. However, their appeals to local authorities brought a tepid response at best, and self-funded inquiries fared no better. Not a single one of the missing boys was found. They seemed simply to have vanished. There were rumors, of course, clues even, like the mysterious green garbage bag seen hanging outside Yongming's shack. Someone said they'd seen bones protruding from the bags, but no one seriously suspected the dim-witted farmer or the suspicious-looking dried meat he sold at market. Had any of the villagers known about Yongming's murderous past, they might have taken it more seriously when he looped a leather belt around a youth's neck and tried to strangle him. The boy escaped and reported the matter to the police, but Yongming claimed it had been a prank and the police believed him. Eventually, reports of over a dozen boys and young men missing from an area that spanned just 2 square miles leaked to the media, and the Ministry of Public Security sent a team of investigators to Nanmen. They immediately picked up a pattern to the disappearances. All of the boys had gone missing along a particular stretch of road, a path that led directly past Yongming's house. When the investigators heard the stories about the mysterious garbage bags hanging outside Yongming's home, they decided to call on him. They were in for a shock. The bags really did contain human bones. But even that was not the worst of the horrors. Inside, they found chunks of flesh drying on hooks. They found jars containing human eyeballs preserved in alcohol. They found the remains of several corpses buried in a vegetable garden. They also learned that Yongming had been consuming the flesh of his victims and feeding some of it to his dogs. Yet even as this macabre story was unraveling, another equally disturbing one was revealed, one of police incompetence. With 20 people missing from a tiny hamlet within the space of 2 years, with citizens up in arms and local chatter rife about Yongming's activities, the police did nothing. The subsequent inquiry into the case would result in 12 local officials, including the police chief, losing their jobs. Zhang Yongming went on trial in 2012 and was promptly found guilty and sentenced to death. Chinese justice is swift, and on January 10, 2013, the state-run Xinhua news agency reported that Yongming had been escorted to a place of execution and executed